The Crusade continues, the brand new Combat Patrol. Oh my god, I've been so excited for this. I absolutely love the Combat Patrol boxes. I just think they're so perfect for like beginners, army builders. They're just a great way to get like a big whole box of plastic and loads of models for a fairly reasonable price. So when this one was announced, I knew. I held off for a little bit. I didn't order it straight away. I was trying to have some restraint, but I just knew. I was like, I'm going to give it anyway and order it. And here it is. So today we're going to crack this open, see what's inside, and paint, I think, a Bladeguard Veteran. Just because I've done a Sword Brother and some Crusaders before, I've not actually done a Bladeguard Veteran, and plus they just look incredible. Like, I love those big, massive shields and the melee weapons. So yeah, really keen to get stuck into one of those. So without further ado, let's open this bad boy up and see what's inside. Oh yeah, that's what it's about. Oh, I got all that plastic. Oh, a nice big chunky. Oh, like a little Bible. Look at that. That's what I like. Oh my god. Right, let's clear some space. I always forget how much plastic is in these boxes. Oh, it's so good. It's proper weighty. So what have we got here? Is this the Emperor's Champion? No, I think it's the Bladeguard Veterans. Oh, one sprue for that. Oh yeah, this will be the champion, right? Yeah, look at that nice rounded like body. You got like the crown. Oh, I'm really super keen for this guy. I've got some plans for him that I'm gonna work my way up to. Then we've got another sprue. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the blade guards come across one double sprue and a single sprue. And then a little baggie of bases before. And what's this? I guess this is for the Sword Brothers. I recognise those capes and these claws. These are incredible as well. Keen to try out though. Wolverine claws. And yeah, we just got like three big huge sheets of just Sword Brothers and Crusaders. Yeah, I recognise these from the last Combat Patrol. So cool, yeah, this is what I mean. This is why I think they're so good, because it's just like, it's quite expensive. It's what, like £80? But you get just, look at this raw amount of plastic. It's just weighty. Great box, as always. The only criticism, I think, of it, and I think a lot of people have mentioned it, is there's no upgrade sprue. So the original one came with this, which is like the upgrade sprue, which had a bunch of extra like shoulder pads, some trinkets, some little extra trophies. I mean, I've used most of it, and if I had the hindsight and knew I was going to get another Combat Patrol, I probably would have saved some of them. But yeah, it came with like a whole bunch of extra stuff, and this one doesn't, which is a shame, because that was such a cool part of the old Combat Patrol. Alright, so let's put some of this to one side and get cracking with a Bladeguard Veteran. Alright, so here we go, we've got the little book. So let's go and find some Bladeguard Veterans. Says, here we go, right at the back. So it looks like we build up the body first. The 17, 18, 19 for like the body. And then we've got some shin guards at 35 and 36. Oh, right, okay, let's... what is all of this? Oh my god. I guess these are your options, right? You can either have gun and shield, gun and sword with shield on the back. Oh, I like that. Oh, okay, hold on, that's really cool. Or you can have sword and shield, which is... yeah, I'd really want one of those. Oh, I want that. That's one I want, him stabbing something in the ground. Okay, yeah. What are your other two options? You have one of these. One guy pointing and holding... oh, I like these, like holding the sword, like he's putting it out. That's quite cool. Then one guy... oh, clean the sword. Hold on. Man, there's too many good options for this one. But I think for this video, we're just going to play it safe and pick, this one down here. The pink dude who's like stabbing. This is really cool. So I guess we've got A, B, and C. And it's the C one we like, with that the stabbing motion. Yeah, so 51 for the pouch. So we do one of the arms to hold the shield, one of the shields, and 20A, which is D46. That's sort of like long stabby one. Yeah. This looks unreal. Oh, I love this model. I just love the massive, huge shields and melee weapons. And something about all the heraldry and the imagery of like the skulls and the symbols on it. Yeah, wow. I absolutely love this. So let's just move this to one side, because all that's left now is D67 for a shoulder pad, 2 shoulder pads, and then we need to pick a head. Oh, and a little shield. Okay, okay. No, I think I'm just going to pick one of the normal helmets for this dude, like a 64. And then for the shield, I do quite like the idea of having a plain one and like doing a little bit of freehand and drawing a pattern on it. Actually, I'm going to go for D56, just like a... It's got like a weird little circle in the middle of it. It kind of looks like down here, this one, which would be quite cool. I can paint like a yellow grid on it and then also colour in the symbol. And here he is in all of his primed glory. Oh, what a model. Look at that. I love the priming. It makes him look even better, you know. It looks so cool when they're built, but then it's just... It's like the first glimpse into what it will look like, kind of semi-painted, and yeah, unbelievable. So let's just take them apart and go through the running order. I actually think I want to do things a little bit differently this time. I feel like I always paint the armour first, and then some of the big sections like the cloth and weapons, and I'm like, oh, we sunk hours into this, I'm almost done. And then it's like, oh, lol, no, there's just all these tiny little details you need to do, like these leather pouches and all sorts. Although, to be fair, actually, 90% of his little details are on him. But either way, I think what I might do this time is, well, I'm definitely going to start with the shield. Like, this is the first thing I want to paint, just because this is like the thing I'm most excited for. It looks super cool, and I really want to, like, while I'm fresh and excited, get it down to a T. So in terms of colours for this, I want the shield to be bright white. Like, I really like the idea of the white shield contrasting the black armour. I've seen a few people do like black with red outlines, and I just, I'm not a massive fan of it, you know. Like, I feel like it all blurs into one colour. So what I want to do is paint it all white so it's proper stands out on contrasts, similar to like the shoulder pads on the Marshall and whatnot. Then the white we're going to go for is actually everyone's favourite. It's Corax. I actually found a really cool Duncan Rose video where he paints. Yeah, where he paints a Blood Angel's Primaris Bladeguard Veteran. I know we're not doing a Blood Angel, but it has got that cool white shield in it. So I'm going to follow this video and go for his strategy. So it is, yeah, just Corax white as the base colour. It's a layer of Agrax Earthshade. It's just the recesses, so over the little bolts in the lines leaning against this big heraldry. And then just add some white scar into that Corax white again, and then kind of re-go over the top in the middle sections. Almost like a, what's the opposite of a highlight? It's not around the edges, it's just around the middle, leaving the highlights and the recess shading. Let's just crack out the wet palette and then make a start. There's a few layers of Corax white. I will mention that I do only show one coat, but I am actually doing like 2 or 3. Like, I think for this white, I did 3 coats of thin Corax white. It'd just be so boring watching me go. No. So I just include one in the footage, but I do multiple layers. So it looks like a lot of Agrax, and that's because it is. But like I mentioned, the next step, we're going to take some Corax white, mix that into the... No, next step we're going to take some white scar, sorry. Mix it into the little bit of Corax that we've got here, just to sort of make a bit of a lighter white, and then paint just in between. It's kind of like in the middle section there, not with this bristled brush, and down the sides, just leaving those recessed shades, but kind of filling out the middle. So we've got a nice smooth white application, still got some of those recess shading showing as well. That was a mouthful. So next up, we're just going to fill in some of the gold details of the trim and these like raised areas, just like here and here. And then the skulls in the middle will be silver, I believe, and also some cheeky ones hidden out there, so I'm sure that'll be nice and messy. We'll see how that gets on. But yeah, really keen to put the gold trim on. I feel like that'll proper frame it and bring it all in and kind of take attention away from some of this heavy recess shading. At least I hope so. Right, and there's all the colours on the shield, the white, the gold and the silver. It's looking really nice now. Oh, I love how all three colours like complement each other. Like the white background I just love so much. I'm so glad I went for it, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see it against like the big black armour of our dude. Can't wait. So right, so next up, I'm not actually going to do the purity seals. I'm going to stick with the gold and the silver. So we're going to do some non-oil washes on the silver parts. And then we're going to do Reikland Fleshshade. Just a light coating of that over all of the gold. And then once we've actually done the shading of these two, I'm going to go back over the gold. This is the top halves with like a glaze of Retributor. So I'm going to like water it down and just kind of go over the top, just so the top is got like tinted a little bit, but those recesses stay gold. That's just something that Duncan mentioned in the tutorial, just to add some more like volume and depth to it. So like the raised areas will be like bright and the recesses will be dark, because it's such like a big centerpiece. It's like huge. It'll be at the front of the model. So I want to make it look as good as possible. So yeah, let's give that a try and see if Duncan is right. Cool, so there's all the colours and the details. Yeah, I do think the sort of glaze over the top definitely took away some of the red. It does look quite nice and gold. I mean, either way, it looks absolutely incredible. Like, I love the way it looks. Oh, that, like the shine, the big bold whiteness. But yeah, we're not done there. We've got an obscene amount of purity seals left to do on this thing. So I really want to take my time and make these pop, because I mentioned that, yeah, this is one thing I want to focus on, these really small details. So let me grab all of these colours. I've seen quite a few different approaches with the parchment. I think one I'm going to go for is Rakarth flesh on the parchment, and then what we'll do is we'll wash it down with some Agrax Earthshade, and then reapply the Rakarth flesh over the top as like a highlight, just leaving some of those recesses really dark. And then what I want to do is edge highlight, or even like real spot highlights at the top, some Wraithbone. So yeah, just these three colours of the parchment. And then in a similar vein, I think I'm going to do the same with the wax seals. So we're going to grab, we're going to go Khorn Red for the base, wash over with some Nuln oil, and then we're going to highlight with some Mephiston red. Cool, so there's a layer of Rakarth flesh, Earthshade, Rakarth flesh, and highlighted with Wraithbone. And they look okay. I always struggle to do like these sort of highlights on like bumpy surfaces. It's kind of hard. I find it hard to pick out the sections that I should be highlighting and leaving. They're not looking great. The top one looks kind of okay actually. What I might do is add the reds just to see if that adds anything and sort of brings it together, and then if not, we can panic then. I also don't know if it's because I'm like 2 inches from the model. Like, can we zoom out? Yeah, I guess from a distance it's okay. There is some sort of depth to it and it's not too bad. I don't know, let's add the red. I will say it does add quite a bit to it. A little bit more colour, like the red on like the gold was quite nice. I'm still not like super happy with the parchments. I guess what we'll do actually, we'll leave them there for now, just so as a lesson. Just so you know, when I look at them I know, okay, this was our first attempt, because there is some more on him somewhere. Just one on the leg. So yeah, we can try one on the leg as well, maybe do something a bit different. But one final thing on the shield before we call it done. I want to try, so I guess actually sticking with the purity seals, I really want to try some writing on it. I did try it once before and it was a bit of a mess, but this was like months and months ago. I haven't done it in a while, so I'd be keen just to get some Rhinox hide and a size 00. And just try and do a little bit of text, just like little squiggles, just little. And also, I completely forgot when I was doing the gold. I haven't done any edge highlighting, so while we're at it, we'll also grab some Liberator and just edge highlight like the top of the shield here, maybe some sections. Yeah, like not all of it, just the top face and stuff. I need to step back more when I paint things, because like I'm always like this, like painting real hunched over, and then I'm like, I don't like this detail's a bit meh. Then I'll put it on the desk now, and I'll be like, yeah, well, actually from a distance, not too bad. I'll tell you what, it was cool starting off with something a bit different, but I think I'm going to do the armor quickly, just because there's so many other details that like I want to do. Like I really want to do like he's got this trinket on his front, he's got this like pouch on the back and stuff. So I want to do, I want to stick with these little details, doing them first. But it's kind of hard to do them before doing the armor, especially if I'm going to be dry brushing all the highlights. So I will quickly bash out the armor. So let's head on down and do that. Sweet. So the recipe for the armor is pretty straightforward. We'll just put Black Templar contrast all over, then we'll dry brush some highlights. Last model I experimented with Dark Reaper and Thunderhawk Blue, but I kind of want to try out my new dry brushes with the traditional highlights I normally do, which is Rust Grey. There we go, just a quick base layer and highlights, some rust grey, and tell you what, I do want to do this, some of the sections on this torso, just because it makes me feel really productive and like I've done a lot. So like, if we do this big huge tabard, and then we can start doing like maybe the knees and all these little details, it'll make me feel quite accomplished. So yeah, for the tabard, I'm actually going to do some Zandri dust, then some Agrax Earthshade to darken down all the recesses, but then I might actually go back over with the dry brush, similar to what we did with the Execrator. Rather than get like the actual brush in and try and manually do it, just go with the dry brush and just highlight over some Zandri dust. I'm not too unhappy with that, you know, it's quite cool. I was thinking as well, like, man, I haven't actually done a tabard in a long time. Like, I did the red one last time for the Execrator, but I mean, this is the first time I've done like a Crusader light brown tanned one. That's why I've got these two here actually, just to compare. So these are two ones I've done previously, but like quite a while ago. So how does it compare to the two? Yeah, it's okay, a little bit brighter. So like, this is quite dark and this is quite bright, so it's actually quite a nice middle ground. I think it's not too bad, you know, I quite like it. Cool, so the tabard's looking good. Next up, we can just fill in some of these knee details just because I got some Zandri dust on them. So these need to be, I think it's like gold. I might even go straight like Liberator. It seems like quite a bright gold looking at the box art. And then we've got some armor ribbons that I'll just slap some Basilicum grey into. So that's pretty much on these done. Pretty cool. I do like these like big shin guards though. So it adds something extra to like down that section, because the Crusaders are really cool and I like them. But yeah, this bottom half's just a bit bare, you know. They've got like the Aquila, the shoulders, everything going on up here. Just this bottom half's just a bit plain. Whereas these guys, I just love that. Yeah, there's big, huge stonking shin pads to just make them a bit bigger and a bit thicker. That's what I like. I like big, thick, chunky Space Marines. So, big fan of those. And then moving on upwards, we're just going to carry on with the Aquila. So what I want to do is try dry brushing some Liberator gold highlights over the top. And then what I might even do, depending on how I'm feeling, I might go to the extreme and get like the size 00 and just really like highlight the tips of all of these wings with Leadbelcher. Just nice little gleams. So we'll tar up the Aquila. And also I guess while we're at it, what I want to do as well is slap some colour on this belt in the middle. So I want to get some Mournfang brown, go all the way around the belt. Also do it, what is it, an Agrax Earthshade wash, and then another like edge highlight of Mournfang. I was just about to go on to these sort of spot highlights of Leadbelcher, but man, that dry brush is actually really nice. I don't know how much it comes up on camera, but I feel like it's caught a lot of the, yeah, like I feel like, oh, that's caught it real nice. Alright, so I'll grab some Leadbelcher and just do like some of the tips. I don't know if I even need to be honest, but I'll give it a try, you know. Just a little end of day review. It is Sunday, so I've had a lot of spare time sort of like dipping in and out painting, but we've done the entire shield, which I absolutely love. Oh, we've done the entire shield, which is like one of my favourite things I've done in a long time. I love this piece, it's so cool. Like if I could just like frame this on its own and just put it on, like, oh, that'd be good. And then we've also done the base armour, the highlights, and then all of these details on the front, like the tabard, the Aquila, and some levers. To be fair, that's quite a bit. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So tomorrow, what we'll do, first thing in the morning, I think there's still a few tiny details left on here I want to finish up. There's a pouch on the back, there's a little relic on his front, and there's also a purity seal on his leg. So those three little details. Might try something different with the purity seal. I might just try Wraithbone, but with Skeleton Horde over the top, just to see how different that looks. And then, yeah, we'll also finish up this pouch here. It's just going to be some kind of silvers and golds for the trim. Next thing you'll see is me doing that, but next thing I will see is my bed. So I'll see you guys in the morning. So yeah, that is almost all of the details done on his torso, and I knew there was a lot, but wow, yeah, I just kept finding small little things. Although it wasn't nowhere near as bad as the Wolf Priest. I feel like the Wolf Priest probably had the same, or if not more, details, but they're all clustered in one little like section. Whereas this guy has like, he's got a cool little like nice light relic here. He's got the holster around the side. He's got like a little pouch in the back, and it's quite spread apart, so it's easy to like edge highlight each individual pouch and whatnot. But I'm really happy with this. There's only one thing left on this actually whole torso to do. Oh wow, yeah, there's only one thing left, and that is the purity seal, so I'm just going to do that quickly. So like I mentioned, actually I want to try something different from the other ones we did on the shield. I want to try a Wraithbone and then put Skeleton Horde over the top and just see what that's like basically. So we'll do that, and then afterwards, because with the torso done, we'll move on to... Actually, to be fair, I've actually got this little carousel of like small details that will go on the torso. So we'll do the purity seal, and actually we'll carry on with some more leather pouches. So yeah, let's do more teeny tiny little details. Oh, some lovely little details done and dusted. So we got the purity seal, which actually I think looks loads better as Wraithbone with... So I did Wraithbone, Skeleton Horde, and then I got like a glaze of Wraithbone over the top to kind of like re-highlight some of those raised edges, and yeah, that's turned out a lot better. I much prefer that to the ones on the shield, which were like Rakarth flesh and all sorts. Yeah, like, oh wow, they look really bad actually in comparison. Like, look at that. Yeah, oh well, at least we got like a one we like at the end, you know? So, the last... and I mean, is the last tiny detail, is this shield. And looking at the box art, it's kind of like a grid. So there's like black on the top, left and bottom right, and then yellow on the alternating. So you can get some freehand in. And actually, after last week's Execrator, so I did like some freehand on the grid there last week, I'm actually quite excited to try it out again, you know? It was like quite a dark yellow. So I'm going to grab the Averland Sunset and yeah, see if we can draw a cool little grid. Hey, that's pretty good. Look at that. Ah, I'm well chuffed with that. It looks awesome. Nice and clean. I really like the reds on the yellows and the black. Oh yeah, I'm see. You know what, well happy with that. Like, I know it's super simple, it's only a grid, but when I first started, and even now, I don't know why, but I've put freehand on like this pedestal. Like, it's like the hardest thing to do, and it's a really advanced technique, but I guess it's not that bad actually. Like I said, it's only a grid, so it's just straight lines, but I'm so happy with that. I'm really excited to see it on him. All the minor details done. Just leaves us with a few things left. Honestly, this is all we've got. Well, we've got the base, but we just got the 2 shoulder pads, the head, the backpack, and the sword. Next up, we'll just do, I was going to say a nice little quick win, but like, I feel like everything that's left is quick wins. Just these few things. The sword's the only thing that's going to take a bit of commitment, but even then, like, just be a little insignia on the hand and the molten effect probably. So yeah, let's quickly bust out the shoulder pads. So they will be, I believe it's just red, right? So just Mephiston red on the trim, maybe some Nuln oil, there's some highlights of Evil Sun, and then also I think I want to put like a transfer in this middle bit. We've got some here, to be fair. So I can just put one of these red crosses on it. Will fit, won't it? Yeah, I think so. It's sort of brethren markings. I'm not sure what these symbols are. Maybe I'll look into it and see if I can make some of them fancy, because I do quite like this skull. I'll have a look into that and see how I feel, but first of all, we need to slap some reds on these shoulder pads. Cool. So I'm just trying to keep a log of the days and how long I spend on the models, because I think it's sometimes quite good to reference how long you spend on stuff. It's kind of hard sometimes to watch a tutorial and I feel like they just do it all and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you try and copy it and it takes like days or weeks. So it's the end of Monday. Yesterday it was a weekend, so I had loads of time to paint, so we did quite a lot. Did the body and the shield. Today, not so much. I was working, I went to the cinema and did some other stuff, but I still feel like we've got quite a lot done, to be fair. So that is all of the little details, and then also done. Well, I also did like the purity seal on the body, and also these banging shoulders. These look really good. Oh, I think I've got some like really good highlights on them, like with the Evil Sunz and the spot of Troll Slayer, and then I love these transfers. I was looking up trying to find what the significance of the skull in the middle is. I know the red cross indicates sword brothers and like veterans, but I was like, what does the skull mean? And apparently it's just decorative. Like if you fancy making them a little bit extra, which I always do, you can put them on. So that's what we've done. Quite a chill little day. Quite busy, so I haven't had a chance to paint too much, but got quite a bit done. So I'm going to go to bed now because it's night time. And then tomorrow, I've got nothing planned in the evening tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I can just smash all of these out. So we've got the backpack, which is just like silver and gold. Then I'm pretty sure this is going to be like the magma molten sword effect that we do, just because I like the idea of having that across all of them. And I kind of held up another silver sword that I'd done against the model. It's kind of a bit plain and boring. So it will probably be that molten effect. And then the head as well, which will just be some eyes. So to be fair, actually, what I might do, and the next thing you'll see, is the backpack and the head, because they're just little quick wins. And then we can sink a little bit of time into this sword and the base, and we're done. Right, nice little backpack just quickly bashed out this morning. Looking quite good. I just chucked this little transfer on just to add some pizzazz to him because he's a Bladeguard Veteran, so he's a little bit fancier, you know. I'm not massively keen on it. It's okay. Maybe I should have gone for the white one rather than the yellow. I thought the yellow would like match the gold, like all that regalness. But one thing I do really like actually is this, like, I don't know if it's going to come up on camera, the halo trophy thing kind of has a nice like gradient. Like it's quite bright at the top, like the Liberator, and then at the bottom where the shade, Reikland Fleshshade is sitting, like it's quite dark. So it's a nice like transition from like really bright on top to like dark at the bottom. So only things that are left are this sword and this helmet. So I guess it's finally time to tackle the sword. Actually, we'll leave the head till last. One thing I'm thinking of doing actually is like just a little video where I just paint like all of the heads preemptively, because I've got like 10 Crusaders that need doing and sword brothers and all sorts. So I might do a little video where I just sit down for the day and just paint out heads and helmets and get them all prepped. I feel like that would make army painting a bit easier. So yeah, I've decided I do think I want to do the molten effect of this sword. So for reference, if you've not seen it, if it's your first time watching, this thing, this sort of like glowing molten sword. I quite like the idea of it being the same across all of my Templar. Well, not all of them, but like the fancy boys, you know. But what we'll do actually first is we'll paint the handle red and then the guard gold. And he's also got this little thing on his hand, little insignia, which I think is gold as well. Cool, so there's all the golds and the reds done. Actually, to be fair, this handle could probably use another layer, so I'll do that afterwards. But yeah, I like that, nice and cool. So yeah, next up, just going to do the molten blade, and then if you've not seen it before, basically it's just applying loads of really thin layers of oranges and yellows to build up like a gradient. So we'll put on like a whole bunch of watered down, thinned layers of like a Troll Slayer orange glaze over the whole blade, and then we'll start mixing in some yellows into that orange to apply like another thin glaze like just down the middle to kind of build up this gradient of like it getting hot in the middle of the blade. Slap all of these on, should be about 300 layers of thinned down paint. So there's a couple of little gradients built up, and you know what? I'm not too unhappy with that. I think the red to orange, that first stage I did, was actually one of the best like underlaying gradients that I've done. It's just this middle section of the yellows. It's always tricky. I always kind of find it hard to like build up. Just in the center, like top to down, when it's just a whole block, it's quite easy. But when you've got to like kind of keep the edges one color and like blend into it, I find it quite difficult. But to be fair, that's almost done. It's just the trim now, so we're just going to mix in some Evil Sunz Scarlet with some Rhinox Hide to make it sort of like a dark browny red. And what we'll do is we'll edge highlight almost like around the edge of the sword, put some like chip damage on it, so it's almost like the blade is so hot that like the cooler parts are cracking and chipping at the top. I think that's everything. Yeah, there's a sword all done. The body, the backpack, it feels so anticlimactic and weird because I normally finish on the small details, like all the pockets and the shields and stuff like this. But I did it in a bit of a different order today, just for some variety. So yeah, it was a bit weirdly anticlimactic. So yeah, before we build him, actually, we can glue him onto the base and like tart up this base and make it all swampy and not muddy. All right, I've got a little bit of a problem. Not a problem, but so I was like, I'll just chuck some, like I said, like some fake moss and like grass on the base and just call it there. Nothing too complicated. But then the idea started flowing. So what I've done, so I put some like fake, like big fake grass on the back, some on the rocks, a little bit of green on the front, and then I was like, I'll sprinkle some of the fake water in because I like it being like all wet and swampy. And then I was like, well, actually, let's put a little bit of brown paint in the fake water. Actually, to make it a bit like more muddy water. Oh, actually, then I thought maybe put a little bit of red in to make it kind of look like sort of a bit of a bloody, muddy mess. Now I've put in a little bit too much red, so it just looks like water, bloody water. But then I was like, oh, actually, hold on. I started to mix it in with, well, I kind of like sprinkle it over the bush. It looks like the bush is splattered with blood. And now I've got this like bloody sort of stream. And now I say I've got a problem. The problem isn't this, because I think this looks unbelievable. This looks so cool. I love it. The problem is I want to carry on and do more. So yeah, it's 9:15 on Tuesday. And I was kind of like, oh, I really want to kind of like do this tonight, put it all together, do the review, do the outro, and then I can like tie up a nice bow on it and start editing the video tomorrow. But now the ideas are flowing. I kind of want to just keep going. So what I'm going to do, what I really want to do is have a human head, paint it, and put it like almost at his feet and see what that looks like. So like, I don't dare use the helmet because it's still wet, but like kind of there. So like it looks like the blood is coming out of the head, like again, like a fallen brother, like a scene. But I don't really have time tonight to prime my head, fully paint it and put it in. But I do really want to do that, so I might have to bleed this into tomorrow a little bit. Tell you what I do, I'll clip off a head, prime it, and that way tomorrow morning, first thing, it'll be dry and I can actually paint it. Yeah, let's do that. Here we go, the finished Bladeguard Veteran base and all. Oh yeah, look at that thick boy. Oh my god, what a model. I like how big and thick and chunky he is. Oh wow. Yeah, do you know what? All in all, I think it turned out pretty good. Like, I'm really, really happy with this, I think we succeeded as well on our like little details kind of quest to try and make all the little stuff look really good and like fleshing out those small details. Like look at that little parchment on his leg, like, oh, it just looks really, really good. Adds so much to it with the little text and the right colours and whatnot. And similarly with the shield, like I know it's not really a little detail because it's so big, but like it just looks so good. So like such a cool centerpiece, like his big white and gold shield contrasting the black red armour. Absolutely love it. 10 out of 10. Yeah, this was really good. Do you know what? The base worked out as well. Like look at that, that's so cool with the head there, like a fallen Templar, like the bloody water. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, this has got everything going. Cool base, little details, brilliant looking model. I can see why, like when I was looking into painting these, a lot of people said they're like personal favourites or like they're really popular because of how cool they are. And yeah, I can see it now. Like that huge stonking shield, like the sword in the air, like he's going to stab someone with it. Oh, but yeah, I guess specific paint stuff. The shield is the main one. I'm so happy with it. Yeah, I absolutely love all the colours. I'm so glad I went with the white. Just yeah, the way it contrasts the big black and red armour. I absolutely love it. And then yeah, the little sponging of the dirt on the bottom really adds a lot to it. I thought I'd want it to be big and clean and pristine as like this centerpiece, but actually now that I've got the mud on it, I'm like, no, yeah, it adds a lot of character to it, so it's really, really cool. Big fan of the gold. The recess shading actually on this was really good. So I just ran some Agrax Earthshade. Yeah, I thought it was best to do the super zoom. So I ran some Agrax Earthshade along like the recesses between the gold and the white and across the edges of the gold. And yeah, it's really, really good. It adds so much depth to it, just at a glance. It really looks like that white bit is like deep in and the gold's popping out. Just a little something that I think Duncan always mentions, like recess shading with Agrax or Nuln oil, but I always kind of forget to do it. But I think this will definitely reinforce it in my mind. I should be doing it all the time because it just looks so good and so full and so full of depth. I'm not a massive fan of the gold on the knees, actually. Like, when I look at the box, that's something I thought was really cool and really stood out, but something about it, I don't know. Can't put it into words, but it's not really speaking to me that much, you know? I think because there's so much decoration going on with the shield, the chest, the sword, it's just like another little drop of gold. I think maybe like in the future I'll just maybe leave it just black or something. I'm not 100% sold on it. Yeah, it's kind of funny as well that I spent like, just looking at that area, it's kind of funny I spent so much time with the Tabard, like dry brushing, and the last video trying to get a really good cloth recipe, and like 90% of it is just covered. But yeah, it's got some cool trinkets around the back. I did drop this one into the mud by accident when I was building it, so it's a little bit like messy, but it kind of works in like a damaged way, you know. And then around the back, I'm not a massive fan of the little gold star. I think I mentioned it when I put it on. I would rather be a little bit bigger, but it does add something to the back, which is nice. And then this huge like sheath for the sword. Oh my god, I love this. This is awesome. Just like this huge, big, chunking piece of detail like around the back, because there's so much going on in the front. Then it's nice to turn it around and be like, oh, there is a little bit extra back there as well. It's also funny that like I was really focusing on like highlighting the chest Aquila with like dry brushing and edge highlighting, but like when you look at it head on, you can barely see it. But I am really happy with that. And that's like adding on to the sort of small detail goal of this video. Like I do think we definitely achieved our goal of like giving small details like the Aquila, the purity seals, a little bit more attention and sort of like stepping them up a little bit. But yeah, I think overall just sort of like the small details and the highlights were a big success with this model, and I'm really happy with it. And the base, yeah, 10 out of 10, I love it. Again, it's just that little idea that keeps like growing and getting bigger and kind of getting like running away in a way. Like I mentioned, like I put the water down and I was like, oh, I'll make it a little bit bloody. And I was like, oh, actually, I could put a head in there. And yeah, so another victim of my, I don't know if overactive imagination is the right way to put it, but just me spiraling out of control. And then sort of the moss and stuff. Yeah, really enjoying this. A big fan of the base. Really, really cool. But yeah, overall, super happy with this. Oh, it's time for my new favourite part of the videos. Taking out a little guy and just chucking him there onto the army table. Da, 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 da. Look at that, proper fleshing out now. There will be 3 of them, to be fair. I've got this half-built one over here that I can probably put just for sake. There we go, look at that. Cool, there's our little army. I've actually wrote down the points this time, so I know where we're at. So the Bladeguard Veterans are 80 points for a squad. So if you combine that with everything else we've got, we're up to 595. And I've still got those intercessors back there that I've not finished yet, but I'll get around to it. There we go, our first look at the brand new Black Templar Combat Patrol. And you know what, I'm a big fan of this box, I like it. I do think the previous one pushes it out just a little bit. You know, I do think I prefer the old one just because it comes with that like big impulsor and the upgrade sprue. So it's like loads of infantry and then a little bit of like spice, whereas this is just like a big box of infantry. But to be fair, there's some cool stuff in there. Like I'm really keen for the Emperor's Champion, the other Bladeguard Veteran, which I think I might do at the end of the box, just then we can compare the two to see how the first one looks compared to like the one we've done after like 16 other models. So it'd be cool to compare the two. But no, really, really keen to get stuck in. And what I'm really enjoying as well, actually, about army building is like making all of my units kind of coherent to a theme and like ideas and making them like this whole package. Like the molten swords across all of the like veteran units, the muddy swampy bases all kind of having joint themes, like doing the fallen shield on the execrator and then like the neophyte crusader head on the base of the one we've just done, the Bladeguard Veteran. It's been a long few days. Yeah, making like these scenes and all this coherent imagery and like this sort of theming across the whole army is really fun. Really, really enjoy it. So yeah, proper enjoying building up a little army. Like I mentioned, I might go to the Sword Brothers next. I might start trying to paint more than one model a video because the last 4 videos I've done have been, yeah, the Wolf Priest, the Battle Guard Leader, yeah, it's all just been one big character model. So I'm keen to maybe go to like something a bit smaller, like the Sword Brethren, and see if we can paint like maybe even the whole squad. Maybe. There's a lot in there. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tune in next time. Thank you.